Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Taos, Baltimore. We are Baltimore positive. We're taking the show out on the road. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, first and foremost. Raven victory this week. Whether you're eating pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, apple pie, mincemeat pie, whatever you're into this week, lemon meringue. Do it responsibly. Have a good time this weekend with your family. Don't talk politics too much. Talk football, maybe not too much. Talk hockey a little bit. This next guy will be doing that. We'll be doing all of the above next week at Coco's on Wednesday. On Thursday, we're going to be at Gertrude's at the BMA, getting my art forward with Dan Roderick. We're going to talk about the holidays and all that good stuff. I'll have Raven scratch-offs to give away from the Maryland Lottery. Also, our friends at Jiffy Lube Multi-Care putting this out on the road, as well as Luke this week. Worked a little overtime on Monday night. This Raven schedule's a little weird. 4 o'clock this week, then off, then all hell breaks loose with Saturday Night Football, Wednesday Night Football, who knows. Leonard Raskin is here. I'm wearing his shirt over my undershirt because I'm not ready for the cold. I'm ready for Thanksgiving and all this, but I keep forgetting how cold. Like Santa was like all dressed up because he got cold. Because it's cold this time of the year.
It's cold in November, the end of November, and now soon to be December. It's Thanksgiving. It's supposed to be cold. That's what we like. We had some snow flurries the other day. Had a beautiful snow globe when the Browns beat Pittsburgh the other night. How great was that?
You let me know when your little silver hairs have icicles on them Sunday afternoon.
I love it.
It's going to be about 32 degrees at game time.
I love it.
Sun's going to be setting.
I'm all
Eagles
ready.
fans drunk with the cheesesteak breath and like all of that.
I'm all set.
This and with that.
I'm all set.
By the way, who puts cheese whiz on anything? A cracker, even.
All right, so
hang on. A sandwich.
Hang on, dude. You're gonna love this. So growing up, we were really, really poor, like really poor. That was a staple. A cheese whiz sandwich on toast was delicious.
You don't put that on a cheesesteak, do you? You don't like it, do you?
I love it. Love it.
Cheese whiz?
Love it.
Now, what I do, nacho cheese like we got at the ballpark with the nachos, right?
No, you can do cheese whiz. You can do a little Velveeta with the Mexican little pepper spice in there. But yeah, cheese whiz, dude. You put it on the roll first. You heat it up. You put it on the roll first. Then you put the steak on. Then you put the steak on. Oh no, that's how you do a cheesesteak.
I need my Gucci, man. My cheese got from Wisconsin got to be done right.
No, that's how you do the cheesesteak. That's how you do it.
Well, it's the wrong week to talk to me about that. All right, so
I'm not going to talk about it. It doesn't really matter because we're gonna destroy them.
I've had a really good time this week talking about Thanksgiving and things to be thankful
for. Nothing better.
I know,
absolutely.
You get the family. We talk about your American dream and all that.
Yes, indeed.
But the one thing that it's really hit me this week, I did the tour out at Greenmount Station in Hampstead. Delicious crab cakes. I think you've been a part of that as well at one point. Tim Watts was my first ever Raven reporter. He did Luke's job when we didn't really have a job, right? It was 1998. Right. I had just gotten the radio station. We needed to cover training camp. We had live radio. We didn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, sure.
So we sent Tim Watts out with a cellular one phone. And all these years later, he's a father of 3, kids in college and high school and out in Manchester Valley. And, he came out last week and it forced me and Jim Harbaugh involved in the game.
Sure.
And all of this music. You've been seeing all the music stuff. I see you liking it out on Facebook and LinkedIn, as other folks are. We're digging all the Billy Joel, just all the crap I put out before the holiday. And Tim came out and it forced me to think about pictures. Not like moving pictures like beer and Rush, but pictures, and the pictures we take this time of year, and whether even if you were poor, and I know you were poor, I grew up with a lot.
But we got the camera.
Had a camera,
got the Polaroid.
We took it to the Kmart. We got them, the little
got the flash cube.
Oh my God, I'm still blind from what my mother would do to me.
Burned the hell out of your fingers too.
And it would sizzle. You'd hear it go. Kids will never know about a Polaroid that comes out because Instagram and like all.
How about the? Now I got the phone, but forget the phone. How about remember the tower, the the flash tower. You take 5 pictures, you took it out, flipped it upside down,
Oh,
plug it
he's
back in.
cubes. They were cubes,
No, no,
right?
no. It was a tower, a little skinny.
I do remember that. You would
You had to
charge it,
flip it
maybe?
over. No, you flipped it over. You took 5 on one shot, 5 on the other, and 10 pictures on your camera. You're
Well,
110. Your Kodak 110.
I don't know what to say. My kid took pictures down at Secrets at the beach for several summers when he was a beach rat 20 years ago. He's now 40 years old. So it's amazing to me, all these pictures through the course of my lifetime, and that we're always sort of frozen. Like I had Mark Hyman on, who's running the University of Maryland Journalism School. To him, I'm always 15. I'm 56,
Right,
but I was
right.
15 the day I met
Absolutely.
him, and
Yep,
it that never sort of changes. And Tim Watts is an intern to me who but he was in my life for years
yep.
and took all of the pictures that you see that are really good at the barn, because I know who took bad pictures in my world, man,
Right.
and I knew, and Tim would give me the camera, I'll get better pictures. And he took these amazing pictures of me, and I found pictures of he and I together, and pictures that he had to have taken, and on road trips in San Diego, Green Bay, all of these places that were. We're talking 26 years ago. You
Yeah,
talk about
absolutely.
screwing your marriage up 2001. Where were you in 98, 99, and 2000? I
Oh,
was on a bus to Pittsburgh with Tim Watts, on
there you
planes to
go.
San Diego, hitting on the flight attendants, and there's
Ah,
evidence and there's
ah,
pictures.
ah.
And so all of these pictures, and I just thought to myself, I found them at like 4 in the morning. I had Tim coming on at
Got to
Green
go
Mountain
in the
Station.
Wayback Machine for
Yeah,
those.
I mean, there were pictures of draft parties from the day when Chris McAllister was drafted,
That's great.
right? Like
That's great.
all of this great, way before Kyle Bowler, way before Chris Redman.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean,
Absolutely.
before Brian Billiker, right around the time Billiker became coach. So we're talking about these really tender memories. And I have snapshots in my mind. I have some of the tapes. I remember all of it. And I'm little Mary Lou Henner. I remember things a little
Yep.
bit.
Yep.
But finding these pictures, what gifts they are
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
you, and you
Absolutely.
made this magic happen. You booked the trip with me. You went on the flight. You pissed your wife off when you got tickets and came to Whiskey Joe's down in Tampa, and you had to buy her furniture, or whatever
The
that
beautiful
story is.
thing. Hey, look,
But
you go back. Yeah, I know we've talked about this. You don't watch the Manning cast on Monday nights.
I didn't watch it this week.
But
I
but just saying
with Joe
they
Buck
had
in Detroit.
they always have Belichick on the first quarter. He's the staple now. And he might be the first half. He's on the first half. Anyway, Monday night they were talking about Jim Harbaugh, quarterback for the Colts, Ted Marchibroda, and Belichick was talking about how much he loved Ted Marchibroda back in the day. And it's just so they were showing video of Harbaugh, taking off on a run. And it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful stuff. Think that's how far back and talk about,
Well, Belichick wearing Colts gear over
right,
at Goucher, right?
right.
There's a picture of that, right?
Absolutely. And
And
talking about being his
Ernie, of
first
course,
draft
he
pick
loves
with
to
the
tell those
Browns,
stories about
who,
going over
who he
there and
picked for the
Hershey and
Browns, and how the Jim and John and Jack, the Harbaugh family, and how how he knows all the. It's cool to hear. I mean, watching those guys talk about it's just really funny. Really
so you
funny.
don't feel like you're missing anything by not watching Buck and Aikman then, huh?
No, no. I mean, it depends. Sometimes they get a little silly, and I want to hear what something happened that they don't talk about. And I don't remember who it was, but one of the guys came on. It might have been Sudeikis. I'm not sure, but somebody came on and said, "You do realize that what we're doing is we're watching you guys watch TV."
Right.
It's kind of funny watching them watch TV and talk about it, but it
Who
is a
would have
great
thought
time.
that was going to be a thing?
It is really
I
cool. They have some
interviewed
great
Eli
guests on.
Manning back when he was at Ole Miss, and I know they
Yep,
suffered a little loss this weekend. We can talk
yep,
about,
yep.
but if I would have said to him when he was a kid in college, and I was doing Nasty Nationwide, and I have the tape of it because
Absolutely.
it was a big deal to have him on and talk about the
Right.
Grove and all
Sure.
that, right?
Sure.
And we had an affiliate down there in Tupelo that loved me and flew me in, and they owned the furniture company and put me on a jet that got me to Nashville, like crazy Nasty
Right.
Nationwide stuff back in the day when I was jet setting a little bit. If I would have said to Eli Manning, dude, you're going to enter the league, you're never going to be thought of as the same as your brother. Now on the Hall of Fame ballot, by the way, but you're
Right.
going to win as many Super
Right.
Bowls. You're going to make all this money. And once you do that and you have a family and beautiful, you're going to do it in New York and all
And then
that.
you're going to
What you're
hang
going to do
out
every Monday night, you're going to hang out and bust balls with your brother and
talking
talk to
football with
with
Hollywood
celebrities,
stars
right? With
who
celebrities,
wanted
right?
to be football players.
Right, correct.
I mean, what a great life, huh? I don't know. They're just, it's such a fun thing to watch. They're
You're very voyeuristic about them, aren't
their
you?
comedic
Really?
timing. Peyton is just funny. I've met him. He has got a quick wit, and when somebody writes for him, he's even better because he's got the flow, he's got the timing, and when somebody's giving him material, he's just superb.
Painting.
Peyton.
Well, look, dude, it all started when he was
Oh,
nailing the kids in the head
Saturday Night
on
Live.
Saturday Night Live.
That's one of the best ever. That is one of the best skits they ever put on that show.
He was
Catch
better
the
at it than,
ball. I'm
let's
going to
say,
tell your
Gretzky
mother.
was. Do you remember when Gretzky went
He
on?
was, no, Peyton's the best. He was the best. So funny.
Leonard
So
Raskin is
funny.
here. I don't
You
have
want to
my
talk about
crab mallet.
pictures? Dude, you want to talk about pictures of music and old for a second? I'll
Go
give you
ahead.
one. I know you know this, but I was listening to the radio a couple days ago. I don't know where I heard it, but this summer, Merriweather, Rod Stewart,
Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick. That is a twosome I would not have put together.
They played 2 years ago together.
That I can't see that stage show together. Rod Stewart and Cheap Trick.
They've been touring for
That's
a couple
insane
of years.
to me. That is, but not only that, but that is old to me.
So you get Tonight's the Night and you get Tonight It's You. You get them both, right?
Oh, Rod Stewart. I can't even believe he's still around. And Cheap Trick.
I love you, honey. What can I say?
It's just unbelievable. Anyway,
Leonard
back to
Raskin is here. He is
football.
Raskin Global. You can find him out on the website. It's Thanksgiving. We'll get to desserts. We'll get to all of that. We'll get to
Amen.
the Eagles in a minute, but on the Chargers thing and on the
Yes.
game, and I know you want
Yes.
to talk Ovechkin too.
Ooh.
Just everything with the league, whether it's Justin Tucker's too old, John Harbaugh can't coach, Lamar was no good last week. What happened to Derrick Henry? They're
They
not
did it
running.
all.
They're going to have penalties into perpetuity.
That
The
they're still
defense
doing.
stinks.
That they're still doing.
All of these storylines that bake, they get a little shorter on a 6-day work week or almost a
Right.
5-day work
Right.
week, really.
They got to have something to talk about.
But coming off the game after Harbaugh and Jim and John and Jack
Nugget
Ryan
Lovin.
and all that went on, right?
Yep.
The game itself and where the Ravens are and where their ceiling is, right?
Yep.
Without Roquan Smith, but where their ceiling is,
Played a good
I don't
game.
think that they were the worst defense in the world when they're 32nd. They were playing that way. I don't think their offense is going to have penalties 12 deep, 200 yards deep every
9
week.
for 100 on Monday night. That's still a lot.
But it is indicative it will get you blown up.
Some of them were ugly. Some of them were just, I can't believe they called
first
those
and 25 with the Ricard thing, right?
Yeah. Did you think he did that?
Yes. And
you think it was intentional?
I don't hear any complaining from anybody when they threw a flag on PI and got together and picked it up at the 5-yard line.
I get it. That was the right thing because that was garbage. But my God, they had 3 or 4 PIs in a row on that last drive that let them score. It obviously has cost them. It cost them against Pittsburgh. They got to clean this up. I mean, I saw Ricard go down. I saw him roll over, and I'm thinking, there's a big man rolling over. Did he really kick the guy? I guess he really kicked the guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm a homer and didn't think he kicked the guy. I thought he just big guy rolled over.
That's a weird call.
It was a weird call.
Like leg whip, barbell.
Yeah,
leg whip. What
the heck is that? But they had too many. They still had too many holding and PI and getting behind the chains. The good news is they were able to overcome it against the Chargers. They played. Look, we talked about it so many times. We got Derrick Henry because last year, championship game, Kansas City, we forgot how to run. Last week, Pittsburgh, we forgot how to run. So come back and go out to L.A. and remember that Derrick Henry and Lamar know how to run. And Justice Hill knows how to run. And they ran the ball 200 some yards 140 some for Henry, you're going to win the game. I told you, I have friends in Nashville. You do as well, I know. They text me after every game. That's Derek. Last week they texted me 13 carries. Are you kidding?
Well, Luke really
Got to
gets
give
into
the
the
man the ball.
spacing. We
Got to
talk about
give him the ball.
how much space he has when he gets the ball, right?
Yep. Yep.
And the difference between he and Lamar on the right side, left side, and just if you ever slow it down, and I
Yep.
do sometimes with my wife on a wipeout play, and I
Yep.
mean a wipeout play that's anything that's a 20 to 40-yard run
Yeah.
for the Ravens or for anyone. Especially in this RPO kind of, even in
Right.
college football, when there's a real breakdown in the running game and that kind of space, and it doesn't need to be somebody special like Derrick Henry. It could be somebody like Keaton Mitchell who says
Yeah,
speed,
sure.
right?
Sure.
Whatever hits the edge, when you see the hips of the linebackers and the safeties that are up on the line of scrimmage
Yep.
to move toward Lamar or whomever they think has the ball, wherever they
Right.
think. Because
Right.
you have to guess, it's
Yeah.
Lamar and
Hard, and
player
he's
X.
good at.
Pick
He's
whoever you want.
really good
It
at
could be
hiding
Zay
it.
Flowers coming around
That's
the
right.
backside,
Really good at
and
hiding it.
Derrick Henry going this way, and Lamar up the middle. And now, besides defecating in your pants, what are you going to do? And I
Yep.
don't mean the linemen trying to figure out if it's a run or a pass, and just trying to make their way up the field post
Yep.
snap,
Yep.
one Mississippi, two Mississippi. I'm talking about sleight of hand when the ball's in the crease and the pivot point. Where are you committing your eyes? Where are you committing your hips? And the kind of speed you're going to need or the kind of power you're going to need to get to the edge. And the movement of Lamar that cannot be replicated. And Luke and I talked about this at length. And I'm a guy that sat with Marvin Lewis back during your Whiskey
Right.
Joe's week in Super
Right.
Bowl. And Marvin's like, this don't know how fast we are. They don't
That's
realize
right.
how
That's
fast.
right.
Tiki Barber has no idea how fast we're going to get up on him. And I think with Lamar, I mean, just how he
Nobody.
stood at the 1
And
yard line
and
after
stopped.
being over pursued.
And stopped.
And Luke
Cold.
shared that that's the same play that he did in high school.
Yeah, right. Right. I saw it. They showed it. They showed it. They showed it.
And I'm saying to myself,
I don't know how they have that ready like that, but they do.
Because they
had it. Right. Because they're amazing.
High school video boom.
They're amazing. And there it was. You're exactly right. The dude stopped on a dime and just like laughed as he walked in.
Who else is doing that?
Well, it's amazing because no matter what channel they're on, no matter who you're listening to, who I'm listening to, nobody has seen anything like this guy. Announcers, coaches, across the league players. It's just stunning to see him play. We talk about it when we've talked about hockey. We've talked about Gretzky. We've talked about Ovechkin, talked about seeing Michael Jordan. You just got to marvel at the talent that this 1/10 of 1/10 of 1%, this 100th of 1% person has, and that nobody has seen and nobody can figure out. It's unreal to watch, and it's amazing.
Well, I think of how many times we've now seen him do something that we've never seen anybody else ever do once, and we've seen him do it multiple times. And I would put that, and I'm 56 years old, Leonard, so I'm really trying to think of things, Jim Abbott, right?
Yep.
Like
right.
really.
Right.
Like
right.
I've never, the way Tony Gwynn never struck out, Michael Jordan, the uncanniness of winning in big moments. And Tom Brady, no matter what uniform you put on him.
Absolutely.
Right? Like he did it in Tampa with his and urine. And, like I would say for Lamar, the championship thing aside and all of that and everything.
Yeah, that's got to happen.
Because I would say Randall Cunningham did things that I had never seen anybody do 35 years ago. And I brought that up because the Eagles were in town. And I said to Luke, it's hard for you to fathom me being an Eagles season ticket holder, but I was for years. And I have I'm going to grab the ticket stubs this weekend, have fun with it, and put them out. But I would say for Lamar, the Saquon Barkley play a couple of weeks ago, the
jumping over the guy backwards.
And there was a thing about Odell Beckham's big play was 10 years ago now.
Isn't that amazing?
We were in New Orleans that night. I was with Luke, and we were running because the Ravens played in New Orleans the next night.
Amazing.
So we were in a bar watching that, and I'm like, what was that?
What did he do?
So years later, when things like that, Lamar is not just capable of doing that. In the same way Justin Tucker hitting that kick in Detroit,
Right.
like things you've never seen happen before.
Exactly.
But with Lamar, it's
over and over and
he's done
over.
5 things a season, every
Yep.
season.
Yep.
That's been really, really uncannily
Just
unreplicable.
can't.
Whether
That's
you're
right. That's right.
comparing him to we compare comps in real estate and whatnot. You can compare him to Michael Vick or compare him to any Walter Payton. Pick a running back. Pick anybody
Right.
exciting.
But he's
There's not
doing it
Billy White
from.
Shoes Johnson. There's
They said
nothing
he
like
couldn't
this.
pass. Couldn't be a pocket quarterback. He's throwing bombs, throwing dimes all over the place. He misses a few, but throwing the ball all over the place. It's unbelievable to watch. It's a pleasure. As we were saying,
Even if it's going to be cold on Sunday,
it'll be
and you're
cold.
going to be
That's okay.
surrounded by Eagles fans.
No, I don't know about that. Unless I sell some tickets, maybe I'll be surrounded by Eagles fans.
Everyone will be surrounded by it's Sunday in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Hey, and they're good. And
that's okay. It's going to be a good game. Should be a really good game.
Hey, when you're a good team and you face good teams
and you're close and you travel, this is going to be a fabulous game. Should be a fabulous game.
It's $350 to get in.
There you go.
Tough ticket. Tough
there you
ticket,
go.
Leonard.
Well,
Leonard, thankful and Thanksgiving. Run me through
absolutely.
for you because and I know you're Ovechkin. You're thankful for watched him and now he's got this injury.
And now,
you shouldn't have brought it up 2 weeks ago.
I know.
Brought up like records and
dude, did you know this? If this is true, I can't believe this is true. I didn't do the research yet. You probably know this as a fact. November 18th, the date Joe Theismann's leg was blown up. The date, what's his name? Redskin quarterback. Help me.
Theismann, you're talking about with Lawrence Taylor.
No, right. Theismann's leg was blown up.
Okay, that's the
and
Redskin.
Then the more recent Redskin quarterback.
RG3.
No. More recent. Oh God, why can't I think of his name?
Okay, move on.
Smith. He's Is he an announcer now? He's doing commentary.
RG3.
No, the other guy whose leg was blown out.
Alex Smith. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm losing my. Okay.
Alex Smith, Theismann, and Ovechkin, all on November 18th.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see that on my Washington sports feed.
That's a bad day.
Well,
if that's true, they should be canceling games for Washington on that day.
Well, I don't have any love lost for Washington at this point.
But I still don't want guys blowing their legs up. But Ovechkin, so he's leading the league in goals. He's on his way to take out Gretzky's record. We're talking about it. And sure enough, last week, innocent play, he's skating across the rink, and a guy knees him in the calf and breaks his leg. He skates over, skates around to try it a little bit, goes off, doesn't come back. They're on the road. Doesn't come back. Next day, MRIs, and he's got a fractured some bone in his leg. 4 to 6 weeks out.
That's not a happy Thanksgiving.
No, that's not a happy Thanksgiving. And
it is amazing. It's uncanny how he stayed healthy.
Oh my God, he has missed.
In order to have this sort of book of records,
I think he will miss more games. Yeah. He will miss more games because of this than he has in his career. That's ridiculous.
Russian
as a Bull hockey player, right? Exactly right. So he's going to be down for a while, and then he's going to come back, and they'll have apparently, 30, 40 games left in the season to attempt to
get back on the road.
Gretzky's record. Right, to scoring goals. They're in second place. He's leading the league in scoring and goal scoring. And who knows what happens now? The Russian machine has broken.
His story is still being written, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that would be true for LeBron and his kid and for anyone
bizarre. Does his kid have a point?
Nah,
they're the highest scoring father-son team in the NBA history.
This is for me, I watched the Ken Griffey thing, right?
Right.
And I saw the Tim Raines thing happen, at various points. I'm watching
the Griffeys go back to back. The Griffeys go back to back. one time.
They played in the
No,
same.
I mean home runs back to back. Did they ever go back to back?
I don't know.
I think I remember that somewhere. I think I
The
do.
weird thing for me is I loved Ken Griffey Sr. He was
Yeah,
my
great
favorite.
ball
I
player.
voted for him in 1977, 78 on the All-Star when I popped the little things out of
Yep,
Memorial Stadium,
yep.
the little
Hanging chads, the little
hanging
hanging
chads,
chads.
hanging chads.
Uh,
That's something. Hanging
that's a
chads.
different thing.
Leonard Raskin is here. It is the American dream. Have you come to grips with what pie is the correct pie for you for
Apple,
Thanksgiving? Your
apple.
apple.
I'm
Yeah,
apple.
I'm surrounded by apple pie. You
The
good
wife, the
Americans.
wife is baking pumpkin and pecan as we speak. She's getting ready for that, and my sister does the apple.
All right, so I'm going to let you in on something here. I think you know this about my wife because you. By
Yep.
the way, Leonard Raskin handles the American dream. So my wife's been through some ish, right? I
Yes.
mean, you know,
Yes.
with cancer and
Right.
9/11 and her being really an American hero and
Yep.
going down and being a part of trying to put New York back together. She got cancer. We learned later in life, like all this stuff. So she's like bucket listing some things with her family
Sure.
to do with her financial wealth that she's put money
Yep.
away,
Yep.
through the course of her 35 years of being employed. And her dad's getting a little older, but certainly healthy. Her sister, not as healthy, but doing well enough that they can go do anything they want to do. And they're researching different things. They're researching river cruise in Germany. They're researching
Okay.
Australia, where money is going. The American dollar strong
Yep.
in
Yep.
Canada, in Australia, in South America. I'm
Yep.
researching South America because I think going to Bogota and Lima and some places like that would be where I would want to
Cool.
go. And I'm a cheapskate to begin with, so when
Right.
money goes a long way, I'm
It's
like,
good. It's
yeah,
good
sign
stuff.
me up for the $2,000 week in South America. That's better than the boat cruise in the Mayan River. You know, I'm not that
Sure.
thing.
Sure.
So, because I've done all these things, I've been to the greatest
Right.
places, and
Right.
I've been very fortunate. So my bucket list is smaller and much more affordable. Like the
Yep.
Northern Lights was, now that was done, I told you it saved me 10, 20 grand
Absolutely.
minimum, right?
Absolutely.
So my wife, her thing during the holidays, the last few years, she doesn't spend. She's not Gucci in
Right.
certain ways,
Right.
although she's going all out making this homemade green bean casserole. So
There you
fresh green
go.
beans. No, she went and bought mushrooms that she's going to shred and make the
Beautiful.
fresh mushroom soup
Beautiful.
that the green
Sounds
beans are going to live in.
sounds
And
good
I'm
to me.
like, I would have gone Campbell's, but hey, right?
Right. Sounds good to
So
me.
here's where she is different. She's been doing this thing every year with her sister
Right.
as a girl bonding thing at this flower place up in Vermont, right? Like
Okay.
it's this Gucci, and they take classes every Christmas week. They
Yep.
drive up, they do this thing, and they learn how to make whether it's
Right.
bread, muffins, the Queen of Mons, whatever.
Whatever.
About 3 years ago, she, during the plague, I think,
Yeah.
masks on, the whole
Yep.
deal,
Yep.
they went up and she learned how to make pie.
Yeah.
All right. So she brought home this apple pie that she made, like pick the apples out, skin
Yep.
the apples, get
Yep.
them boiled, the bit, boom, apple pie, brought it home. Dude, it was the greatest thing I've ever, I mean, like I like me
Hot
some
with
pumpkin and
some
this and that. So
vanilla
I'm not,
ice cream on the top.
no, I'm gonna upsell you in this with Wise Markets, one of our sponsors here. So because we're talking Thanksgiving and it's important with Leonard Raskin. So she brings home this apple pie, and I knew about this thing because Wise Markets told me you
Yeah.
want the cinnamon ice cream
There
at
you
Wise
go.
Markets
There you go.
because it goes with all it a la
Sure.
modes. Anything you think you want vanilla ice cream, it's not a bad idea. Get the vanilla bean;
Right.
it's delicious.
Right.
Get this time of year. Get yourself a gallon, half gallon, with $3.19 of the cinnamon Wise Markets ice cream. Bring
319.
it
Where are
up.
you living?
It's $3.19 in Wise Markets.
Still?
You ain't shopped. You tell Kathy. All right, just tell her to go get
I
it.
think it's 519.
It's
But
two
go ahead.
ninety nine with two. Sometimes it's $2.79 with the
All
Wise
right.
Rewards.
All right.
And
Go
the ham
ahead.
comes free, sauerkraut,
There
kielbasa.
you
I'm
go.
doing it all. It's Thanksgiving. I'm
I
being honest
get
with
it.
you.
I get it.
So she makes this pie 3 years ago, and it's the greatest. I mean, it's with Rodney at Dangerous Delicious. I'll put her pie up against that any day.
There you go.
So 3 years later, this week, she's gone all out. Okay. I mean, we're trapped at home. It's going to be cold as hell. We're going to eat
Right.
leftovers. I'm working on building the bigger, better Baltimore Positive, as you're aware of, because I like to pay my bills
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Um, she says to me, I'm going to make a pie. And I'm like, oh, yeah, let me go to Pennsylvania Dutch. Let me just go to
Right.
Y. I mean,
Go to the
I'll just get a
market.
little pumpkin. It's just the two of us.
Right.
We're gonna have this much turkey, and
Go
we're
to
gonna
the
have
market.
stuffing, and we're gonna have this much because it's just us and my kid and his wife, and like
Right.
she got a 20-pound turkey. I mean, it's two of us, right? So I'm like, she's like, well, I'm gonna make a sweet potato pie, and I'm
There you
like,
go.
well, see, you're like, there you go, and I'm like,
All right. I'm in.
my wife works hard. Like, you know this,
That's
right? My wife's
okay.
in it, like,
That's all
and I'm
right.
like, you don't need to be in the kitchen.
She wants
Doing,
to.
she wants to.
That has
She
nothing to
wants
do with
to.
having to. That's
She's
right.
like, no, I mean, I went to school to make a pie and I haven't made a pie.
That's
And like,
exactly
I want
right.
to make a sweet potato
Want to.
pie.
That's what
And
it's
I'm
all
like, you know
about.
what? If there's leftover sweet potato pie on Sunday when I'm watching the Ravens and it's 12 degrees out and you're freezing your ass off out there with all those cheesesteak eaters and pretzel throwers, and I'm eating a delicious homemade sweet potato
Think
pie.
about me.
But this is where you're talking to me. Anybody can afford to do this. It's not all
That's
that
right.
expensive.
No,
10, 12
it's
bucks, you could probably make a sweet potato pie, right?
absolutely.
So, but it's the
Absolutely.
best things in life are not
Hey,
necessarily. We did the cruise in
no,
Tahiti and
it's
Bora
that
Bora.
stuff.
We did that,
Hey, we
which,
talked to the boy the other night, little FaceTime with the boy, and he's doing Friendsgiving on Friday at his place. He's having about a dozen people or so over in uh, Dublin,
in Ireland, in
a
Ireland.
bunch of Americans, and one of the gals is bringing the turkey, and he's making his mother's sweet potato casserole, which is to die for,
So I'm figuring,
and
like, here's what I would say
corn
about your kid.
pudding.
Can he cook or can he not cook?
He can
Okay, because
cook.
he's a
He can
doctorate
cook.
student. If you hand him
He
directions,
can
I'm
cook.
thinking he can figure out sweet potatoes.
The
But
problem is sometimes finding
finding
the
a
ingredients.
finding a potato in Ireland.
Right. Shouldn't be a problem, right? Shouldn't be a problem to find a sweet potato in Ireland. That
And a
shouldn't be
Guinness
a
to go
problem.
with it.
That's right. So he's doing the whole thing Friday evening. He's having a bunch of people and they're doing the whole thing, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Hanging out with a dozen friends from the United States that all have class. Because you know what? On Thursday in Ireland, you know
It's
what that is?
Thursday. It's
It's
Thursday.
Thursday. That's
It's
right.
Thursday.
They don't
It's
care.
28.
So he's got class on Thursday till 7 at night. Now, they do have what's called the Global Room, which is where they hold events for students from all over the world. You go there on your holidays, whatever, and the school does things. But Thanksgiving dinner is 5 to 7 on Thursday, and he's in class.
So
So
I'm looking up the
he's
top
doing
holidays in
Friday.
Ireland to
Doing
figure out
Friday.
when he's going to get even. St. Bridget's Day is
There you go.
February 1st. He's going to get that. St. Patrick's Day, I think they made that one up. So
Right.
and obviously in Ireland, I mean, of the faith, right? Easter, Christmas, he's
Yeah,
getting all
sure.
those, right?
Sure.
All the normal ones. Oh, there's a St. Stephen's Day.
Yes,
Is the
absolutely.
day after Christmas. So
Yes.
he's going to get St.
But he'll
Stephen's
be here.
Day.
He'll be here for that.
Oh, he's going to
But
get ripped off of that one? Come
no,
on,
he's not
man.
going to. He's going to be home. He'd be home in the burbs for that one.
There's nothing like celebrating a national holiday in a different country
Absolutely.
where you have no clue what's going on.
Right. Well,
Like,
we did a couple of years ago. We did July 4th, and we were in Normandy. We were in France, and so we hung out for Bastille Day, which was July 14th, and celebrated with them on July 14th because we didn't have any fireworks on the 4th.
yeah, I mean, I sometimes you don't even know
Just
what you're
another day.
celebrating. You're just there
Just
and you're
another
like,
day.
it's a thing,
They got fireworks. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wound up like in the North End in Boston the weekend that they do the Irish Catholic. They carry the casket around and they
There you
do
go.
the whole thing. And I'm like, hey man, bring me more pasta.
Party.
So,
it's a party.
if it's
I'm here.
Hey, I'm down for it.
I'm ready for a party. Absolutely.
Hey, absolutely. Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's be merry. Let's watch football. Let's root against the Steelers.
Amen.
Let's root against the Eagles.
Amen.
Leonard Raskin is always out there doing the American dream. His boys over in Ireland doing the American dream. And my wife's simple American dream is just
Sweet
to make a
potato
sweet potato
pie.
pie. So
Fantastic.
I have a feeling it's going to be the greatest sweet potato pie I've ever had in my life.
There you
I
go.
hope everybody has just a fantastic, delectable, enjoyable, peaceful, beautiful Thanksgiving, and eat leftovers and do all that stuff. We're going to be here at Baltimore Positive. I'm unearthing some of the music classics that have never been unearthed before this week. So you'll be hearing those this week. Luke's going to be running around. All of it brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. And then if there's not enough turkey leftovers, eggnog season begins. Official eggnog happens with Marcella at Coco's on Wednesday. We'll be giving away a Raven Scratch-Offs, courtesy of our friends at the Maryland Lottery, also our friends at Jiffy Lube Multi-Care. He is Leonard. Find his work at Raskin Global, also at BaltimorePositive.com. Stay with us.